Hi, it's me, Carrie. Um, you know, my last video I talked about uh, making a change, and me moving to another province. Well, this time I want to talk about interests, because those of us living with Asperger syndrome, we of course have a different field of interest. A special topic that we're obsessed with, and that if people give us the opportunity, we will go on and on about. Well, my main field of interest is really history. I guess you could say history and politics. Um, I love history. It's my obsession. It's been my obsession since I was about 16. I loved history so much that I majored in it when I was in university. So I actually have a degree in history. I thought about doing a degree in a double major in history and political science, or I could have done maybe a major in history and a minor in political science. But I didn't. But as much as I love politics, I didn't enjoy the politics courses at the university I went to. I didn't like the style, the setup. So really, I didn't bother with that, and I just did history. So I have a Bachelor of Arts honors degree in history. But anyways, history is my main field of interest, and something I do all the time. I like to read political biographies about historical people. So right now I'm reading a political biography about Ivan the Terrible. Well, anybody who doesn't know, Ivan the Terrible was the first Tsar of Russia in the 16th century. So he was Tsar of Russia from about 1547 to I think about 1586 or something like that. And he was, a very cruel tyrant, cruel type of leader. And he's somebody who Joseph Stalin, later leader of the Soviet Union, modeled himself after. So I mean, I find it interesting to read about these type of people not because they're cruel and everything and crazy, but because there's a great mystery. I've always found, with Russian history, there's a great mystery. We know very little about Russian history. It's very mysterious, and it can be compared very much to North Korean history. Very mysterious. We know very little about it. But no, I've got this book really. I'm reading a bit about it, and it's interesting. Talking about his life and everything, and how what his leadership and what he had to do when he was czar, and of course, it's still limited. We still don't know everything just to know about him, and that's what makes it more exciting. Is that a lot of stuff that you're having to use your imagination. You're having to fill in the blanks with things they tell you, and I recently watched a film, Ivan the Terrible Part 2, which is a Russian film that was made during the Soviet period, during the Second World War, and it was a propaganda film. But no, it's kind of an interesting film as well. But yeah, I mean, that's really my main field of interest, is the history and politics. And I don't know, does anybody else have a field of interest that I do? For those of us who are obsessed with topics, we constantly go on and on about them, and we often drive other people crazy because they don't want to hear about them all the time. And but we don't do it to be rude. We do it because we know so much about this topic, and lots of times in life we feel that other people judge us for who we are because we don't understand other things. And this is the one thing that we know, that we're comfortable with, and that makes us relaxed and makes us feel like we're important. So for my father, for an example, his specialty is carpentry. My dad's a great carpenter. He can build things very easily. I haven't seen anybody build things better than my father. I'm not saying that because he's my father. I'm saying it because it's true. Well, my father obviously doesn't, when it comes to history, he doesn't know anything about that really. I mean, he knows a little bit, but not like me. So it's the same thing. That's my field of interest. And it's hard because, yeah, my field of interest is limited. You can't really get a career with it, obviously. I mean, I know a friend who loves cars and mechanics, but there's a market for that, especially around here. So really, he'd get a job with that because that happens to be where work is. My field of work, that isn't the case. I mean, I tried in the past to get jobs in history museums, but they're mostly volunteer around here, and they're so difficult to get into, because there's so few of them. But yeah, that's my field of interest, is history and politics, and what's your field of interest? I'd love to hear from you. I mean, you can just let me know what your field of interest is, and yeah, I'd love to hear from you. That's really all I have to say today about my field of interest, so stay tuned later on this week for another video. Okay, bye.